Good morning, boys and girls. It's Luna. Yay! Oh my god, Luna, you jerk. Where have you been? We've missed you so much. Like, you're a monster. Get out. Um, um, this is this is supposed to be something nice, but I'm just talking because I lost the thoughts that I was supposed to read. Give me a minute. Alright, definitely found it. It's called A Journal of Warning. John Astley. That was the name scratched into the cover of the journal I found one stormy day walking home from high school. The name looked almost as if it had been scratched in by one's own fingernails. Who am I? That's not really all that important. I guess I can tell you my name is Alex, and I am 18 years old, and as far as I know, I have lived an ordinary life. Not really believing in the supernatural, just like most people. But what I'm about to tell you, it makes me question how I feel. One stormy day after school, I was walking home after hanging back with my friends, while they waited for their rides home. Walking home my normal route, something caught my eye. As I stated before, it was a journal with the name John Astley nailed into its cover. The only other notable feature on the outside was its odd amount of dust having been out in the open. It was taking refuge under a tree, untouched by this dreary weather. I don't know what possessed me to do so, but I went over and picked it up. Being somewhat of a bookworm, I thought maybe it was some sort of horror story that I could read over this long and damp weekend. As soon as I got home, I went into my room with it and eager to find out who the protagonist might be, and what kind of tale he has to tell. Maybe it would be a mass murderer with some sort of twisted sense of justice, or maybe it was about some sort of vigilante looking to rid the streets of crime. Those were just my initial thoughts at the time. As I opened the dusty journal, I was shocked to find out it was all handwritten. I had thought that the journal look was just all part of the cover, but no. It was in fact an actual journal. I hesitated at first, thinking that whomever this might belong to wouldn't want me to know their secrets. But I shrugged it off, thinking, finders keepers, right? So, when I read it, I almost wish I hadn't. My name is John Astley. I am 18 years old. The same age as me, I thought as I read on. If you're reading this, that means they got me, and I am either dead or one of them. Either just as bad. This all started about 5 years ago when the Soviets and Americans began war on one another, and the nuclear missile bombings began. It was hell on earth, or so we thought, not knowing that soon a greater hell would rise from the ashes. The nuclear missiles devastated many cities all over the world, even in countries that had no business being attacked. It caused many deaths. And as we would soon find out, an even greater after effect. We didn't know. No one knew that underneath the soil laid a greater evil that would doom us all. Somewhere in Egypt, low below all the sand, buried not too far from Cairo, was a strange structure. No one knew of it till after Cairo was destroyed, leaving a large crater uncovering this sort of structure. I'm not too familiar with the details, as I was young at the time, and only know what I was told, but it was said to be some sort of no, made of some unknown material never before found on Earth. It was a large circle, about a mile in diameter. Written around it, weird symbols looking to be some sort of language. It was said that a small group of people discovered this when looking through the remains. What happened next would be the beginning of the end of all of us. There seemed to be some sort of red stains at the bottom of the page, but I read on. As curiosity got the best of them, as it often does with us humans, they decided to examine the large mystery circle, and that's how it started. The end of all life. All it took was one touch by one of them, and it glowed a crimson red inside the circle. The letters illuminated as well. This was the beginning. From the circle came him, that shadowy figure, like a tall, disfigured silhouette of a human. His glowing red eyes that seemed to burn right through you. He is the destroyer of worlds. No, the destroyer of dimensions. He himself exists outside of time and space, waiting to be brought forth wherever he may wreak havoc. It was then that he released the black mist. All it takes is one breath of this black mist, and he consumes your soul. You could try and fight it. Hell, I knew a guy who was able to hold it off for a whole 5 months until succumbing to it. First, it takes your heart, blackening your blood, and it twists your mind, making you go insane. Then your eyes begin to rot away in your very sockets, but only darkness is seen inside as your blackened blood drips. Once the procession is completed, you're one of his puppets. Sure, you can still talk, breathe, hear, and somehow even see, but you're only a twisted shadow of your former self, willing to do whatever he wills you to do, even if it's killing your own friend, even a person who loved you very, very much. That part was smudged slightly, as if some sort of moisture had touched it. After that, the black mist follows you wherever you go. We counteract the mist using gas masks, but still, the fallen ones, as we call them, still manage to pin you down and force it inside you. We tried resisting, rising up against him, but it only failed miserably. You can't stop him once he is unleashed. Your best chances are to pray to whatever God you believe in and has not yet forsaken you, and take your own life. As I am writing this, they are closing in on me. I shall make my last stand as one of the very last humans left, if not the last entirely. I hope that somehow, in some way, this can get to another dimension and warn whoever this journal may find, and its people of their impending doom. And though I don't see how it would. Maybe it's just wishful thinking. My name is John Astley, and I shall die knowing I was human. Scratched on the inside of the very back were the following words: When chaos rises, he shall come to create the world anew in his image. This journal is a warning to us, all of what is yet to come. I only hope that this world shall never know the suffering that is spoken of in this journal. And although I may not be a religious man by any means, I pray to God every night that this shall never happen here. I don't know if I completely believe it, though, but I do know this. Should it be real? Should the monster actually exist and we have only yet to awaken it? Then, if the world powers do ever go to war, that could spell the end for all life as we know it. Okay, guys, I love you. This is Luna. This is Creepypasta Radio, and that was pretty creepy. Good night.